The movie opens in Hong Kong at a lavish party thrown by one of the city's most powerful triad bosses, Mr. Lim. He's seated across from the rival Black Dragon gang, surrounded by his men. Tension hums beneath the surface, but everyone plays nice, for now. Soon, Aryong arrives. Mr. Lim's daughter, dressed in elegance but radiating quiet danger. One of the Black Dragon members brings up a rumor. Aryong's a trained fighter. Curious, they prod Mr. Lim to let her demonstrate. He nods. Aryong steps forward and begins a flowing, precise sword routine. Part martial art, part silent warning. In the middle of it, a Black Dragon goon cruelly kicks a glass toward her. It shatters. She dances through the shards without breaking stride, even as blood stains her foot. But when the same man laughs, Aryong ends her routine by calmly walking up and stabbing him in the shoulder. Gasps. Silence. But Mr. Lim diffuses the room with a glare. No one dares retaliate, but the insult lingers. The next day, the Black Dragon leader is found dead, his throat slashed in a quiet barbershop. No witnesses, just blood. Word spreads like wildfire. And because of the timing, everyone assumes it was Aryong. At the funeral, the Black Dragons are seething. Their senior enforcer, Kuk Chung, vows revenge. Whether Aryong really did it or not no longer matters. The war has begun. Back in Hong Kong, Mr. Lim gets the call. To protect his daughter, he quietly sends her to Korea, into the hands of a trusted old ally, Big Boss. Big Boss turns to his slightly clumsy but loyal guy, Ki-chul. He tells him that a guest is arriving, Mr. Lim's daughter, and it's now Ki-chul's job to look after her. There's just one small problem. Ki-chul doesn't speak a word of Chinese, but too embarrassed to admit it, he nods and agrees to take the job anyway. Later, Ki-chul heads to the airport with his two goofball sidekicks, Kang-chi and Domi. The trio is expecting a tough guy named Aryong, so when a stylish, stone-faced woman steps off the plane, they freeze in confusion. Things get awkward fast. Aryong speaks no Korean, and none of the guys know Chinese. The communication gap makes everything tense and uncomfortable. Ki-chul eventually brings her to Big Boss, who welcomes her warmly and tells her she's free to order Ki-chul and his crew around however she likes. From there, Ki-chul takes Aryong to the house where he and the boys live. Once she settles in, the guys try to act tough, showing off their skills to prove they're in charge. Aryong watches for a moment, then casually steps in and demonstrates how to properly beat someone up. In seconds, she shuts them all down, leaving no doubt who's really in charge. Right after that, a translator named Yeon-hee arrives to help bridge the gap. But as soon as Yeon-hee sees the chaos in the house, people yelling, punching, and showing off bruises, she's terrified. She tries to run, but the boys drag her back inside. Once everyone calms down and sits to talk, Yeon-hee realizes she might be in way over her head. To avoid making things worse, she starts softening Aryong's harsh comments in translation, turning insults into polite phrases so the gangsters don't get offended. Then Aryong shows them a photo of her mother and asks for their help in finding her. The mood shifts, and for the first time, it's clear Aryong's visit isn't just about laying low. She has her own mission. The next day, Ki-chul's crew is thrown off when a rival gang suddenly shows up on their turf. They're clearly outnumbered and start to panic. But Aryong steps in, launching a small table straight at the newcomers. It knocks them off their feet, giving Ki-chul's men the perfect chance to strike back, and they begin taking the intruders down one at a time. Later that evening, the group heads out to a local restaurant for food and drinks. As the drinks start to flow, Ki-chul and one of his guys stumble off to the bathroom, completely wasted. Right then, the rival gang returns for payback after their embarrassing defeat earlier. They begin picking fights again, shoving Ki-chul's men aside and trying to provoke Aryong. But she doesn't hold back. She hurls chopsticks with pinpoint accuracy, hitting the thugs before unleashing a flurry of kicks that quickly overwhelms them. The fight ends in another clear victory, with Aryong easily holding her ground. One of Ki-chul's men rushes to tell him what happened, but Ki-chul, too drunk to process anything, brushes it off as nonsense. Meanwhile, the rival gang licks their wounds and informs their boss of the incident, now fully determined to go after Ki-chul's group. After doing some digging, they extend a formal invitation to Ki-chul and Aryong, asking them to come to their base. When the two arrive, They're stunned to see Ki-chul's men already beaten and lying on the floor. The rival gang's boss steps forward and challenges Ki-chul to a one-on-one fight. Ki-chul charges in, only to take a hard punch to the face. He stands up and tries again, only to be knocked down once more. He rises for a third attempt, and this time Aryong subtly helps out, flicking a peanut that lands right in the boss's eye, giving Ki-chul a much-needed opening. But the victory is short-lived. The rival gang rushes in, surrounding Ki-chul and unleashing a brutal combo of fists and bats. Though Ki-chul holds his ground for a bit, the sheer number overwhelms him. That's when Aryong jumps into the fray, shoving Ki-chul out of harm's way and taking the fight into her own hands. Surrounded on all sides, Aryong doesn't flinch. She unleashes a barrage of swift, powerful kicks that drop each attacker with pinpoint precision. Within seconds, the once crowded room is silent, bodies scattered across the floor. Aryong remains the only one standing. Ki-chul and his crew can only stare in stunned silence, completely floored by her strength. Later that night, the crew heads back home. Ki-chul and Aryong wind down in the garden, sharing a quiet drink together. Although neither speaks the other's language fluently, something clicks between them. Ki-chul begins to feel drawn to her, and Aryong, though guarded, seems to enjoy his company too. The following morning, they all sit down for breakfast. Aryong begins to open up a little more, smiling, being friendly, and making small efforts to bond with the gang. But the mood turns awkward when the translator continues to twist Aryong's friendly words into threats, causing panic among Ki-chul's men. Ki-chul starts to suspect something's off. He watches Aryong's demeanor and realizes she seems relaxed and even kind now, yet the translator's words don't match at all. Suspicion grows in Ki-chul's mind. Is the translator purposely miscommunicating? Ki-chul and his crew head back to their base, only to find an unexpected visitor, the rival gang's boss himself. Surprisingly, the man openly admits defeat in front of everyone. With the matter settled, he's quietly escorted out. Thanks to Aryong's decisive role in all of this, Ki-chul's status shoots up overnight. He's promoted from a low-ranking thug to the trusted right-hand man of the big boss himself. Elsewhere, a high-ranking member, Choi Kuk-chong of notorious Black Dragon, decides it's time to eliminate Aryong. He hires a team of professional assassins to take her out. Back in town, Aryong and the gang are enjoying a carefree outing when the assassins strike. Chaos erupts. The group scrambles for cover, narrowly dodging the hit, but Aryong gets grazed by a bullet to her arm. Ki-chul rushes to inform his big boss of the attempted assassination. Back at home, the group regathers and quickly starts planning their next move. For safety, they split up. Aryong rides with Ki-chul, while the translator and the rest of the crew take a separate vehicle. The split proves wise, as it becomes clear that the assassins are tracking only Aryong and Ki-chul. A fast-paced chase breaks out through the streets, but the pair manage to lose their pursuers when the assassins crash into an oncoming truck during the pursuit. Needing a safe place to hide, Ki-chul takes Aryong to his childhood home. There, they finally get a moment to breathe. His parents, seeing them together, assume Aryong is his girlfriend. In a touching moment, Ki-chul's mother even gives him the family necklace to pass on to Aryong. While Ki-chul and Aryong find a moment of peace under his family's roof, trouble brews elsewhere. Aryong's father, the powerful head of the Black Dragons, is now in danger himself. During a tense meeting with a senior member about his daughter's safety, Aryong's father is caught in a devastating explosion when a bomb goes off mid-conversation, leaving him severely injured. Meanwhile, Ki-chul and Aryong reconnect with their crew and the translator after narrowly escaping danger. But Aryong quietly separates from the group, trying to contact her father, only to be ambushed by the assassins once again. With dust swirling around them, Aryong quickly reacts, hurling her daggers with deadly precision. Two of the attackers collapse instantly, hit in the throat. Only the leader remains. A fierce duel breaks out between Aryong and the assassin leader. Their swords clash with speed and precision, each blocking and countering the other's strikes. The leader clearly has a slight edge in raw strength, but Aryong proves more clever. In a sudden move, Aryong dives into a large pile of hay, disappearing from sight. The assassin lunges in, blindly stabbing into the stack. But Aryong was waiting. She drives her blade into the assassin's stomach, ending the fight once and for all. Soon after, Ki-chul finds Aryong and tells her they've located her mother, but he warns her to be emotionally ready. From afar, Aryong sees her mother, living a quiet, happy life with a new family. Aryong chooses not to approach, worried that reappearing in her mother's life might bring her pain. With a heavy heart, she decides it's time to return to Hong Kong. Just before she departs, Ki-chul tries to tell her how he feels. But Aryong walks away without responding, her emotions too guarded to let him in. Back in Hong Kong, Aryong arrives at her father's home. She discovers that he survived the bombing, but only barely. His body is severely burned, and he's clinging to life. They share a final moment together before he passes away in her presence. The following day, Ki-chul shows up unexpectedly. He gives Aryong the picture of her mother that she accidentally left behind. In return, Aryong kisses him, a silent acknowledgement of their bond. The next morning, a wedding is held for a member of the Black Dragons. Aryong sees this as her moment. She sneaks into the ceremony alone, disguised as the bride. Her goal? Get close to the new boss of the Black Dragons, the very person responsible for her father's death. As they stand face to face at the altar, Aryong wastes no time. She draws her sword and slices into the boss's chest, beginning her final act of vengeance. Chaos erupts at the wedding as Aryong's backup arrives just in time, Ki-chul among them. Aryong jumps back into action, gracefully dodging bullets and dispatching the weaker gangsters with ease. Her kicks and sword slashes land with precision, and the gang members fall one by one. The boss's top enforcer steps in, armed with a pistol, but Aryong dodges his shot and plants a dagger straight into his chest, quick and lethal. Pushing forward, she finally reaches the wounded gang boss. Aryong prepares to finish it with both swords drawn, but the boss plays dirty, pretending to surrender by tossing aside his weapon, only to pull a hidden gun and shoot Aryong in the leg. She hits the ground, the barrel of a gun pointed at her, but just then, Ki-chul intervenes. He distracts the boss only to get shot himself and fall from the high floor of the building. Seizing the chance, Aryong charges, stabbing the boss and then launching a blade into his body. The boss stumbles back and falls to his death in the street below. To her relief, Aryong looks down and sees Ki-chul alive, his fall broken by a conveniently passing garbage truck. With the battle over, Aryong takes her father's place as the new leader of the Black Dragons. But Ki-chul quietly slips away, heading toward the airport. Aryong's loyal assistant won't let her lose him without a fight. She races off to stop him. Out on the highway, the gang intercepts Ki-chul's cab. Both Aryong and Ki-chul step out, meeting in the middle of the road. Surrounded by her men, and with the assistant translating, Ki-chul offers Aryong his family necklace, his way of proposing. The two embrace under the sunset, finally together. And that's the story. Who would have thought a low-tier gangster like Ki-chul would end up winning the heart of a mob boss's daughter? Hit subscribe for more wild recaps like this one, and comment below, where would you take her on a first date?